नमस्कार। आर्यन होम्योपैथिक एकेडमी इंडिया में आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं डॉक्टर आर्यन। डॉक्टर सैमुअल हैनीमैन की लाइफ और वर्क की श्रृंखला को आइए आगे बढ़ाएं। हैनीमैन रेस्टलेस वॉन्डरिंग between year 1792 onward for nearly a decade. In the year 1792, Hahnemann shifted to Gotha. This was a temporary stay as a kind of preparatory period for work in Georgenthal. The benevolent Prince Duke Ernest von Teitgen-Gotha placed a portion of his castle of Georgenthal at the disposal of Hahnemann as a nursing home for mental patients. Distinguished Clokenburg mental illness completely cured by Hahnemann stands out clearly and indisputably in a biography which was published by Friedrich Kitchener-Gerschall in 1795. The story of this cure of Clokenburg brings out that his treatment of mental patients entirely departed from the treatment customary at that time. With the closure of Georgenthal home, Hahnemann found himself homeless once again. Then follows a decade during which he continually changed his dwelling place, and this was truly the most destitute and stormy period of his life. Hahnemann sought everywhere for an anchorage, now in a town, now in a village in central Germany, at the seaside, and again at Saxony. He found none. The cost of moving was always extremely high. The fatigue of the journey was almost unbearable, and once, owing to the carriage upsetting, the whole family of 10 now nearly lost their lives. But having arrived at the new place, the living expenses were so great that Hahnemann only saved himself by fleeing from that place to countryside. Everywhere he met with disappointment. Nowhere could he find a resting place in which he could keep his family and which would give him the opportunity for that intellectual work which was one of the first necessity of his life. This restless, never-ending period coincided with the years of the revolutionary movement in France, which in Prussia and in old German Empire resulted in those inglorious and wasteful wars against the young republic on the other side of the frontier. The first halt after Regenthal was Moltesdin, a village not very far from it. In Moltesdin, he remained for only 10 months between year 1793 to 1794. Here, his sixth child, the second son, was born. He lost him in an accident on the journey to Moltken. From Moltken, he went to Pyrmont, the summer residence of the prince. His sojourn in Pyrmont, however, lasted only a few months, that is, until the beginning of year 1795. Next, we find him in Brunswick. From Brunswick, he went to Hamburg in the summer of year 1799. Expensive Hamburg nearly swallowed him. He went to Molen in Laurenburg, a little place, in the summer of the year 1801. Hahnemann was living in Marcher near Pruden and Leipzig. From Marchen, he moved to Eilenburg, 24 miles northeast of Leipzig, and from there he returned to Dessau, the hometown of his wife, in 1804. In Dessau, he stayed for a very short period and shifted to another place called Torgau. Here in Torgau, an interruption of several years of Hahnemann's wandering came to a halt. During this period of travel were added the attack made upon him by his colleagues, which were increasingly violent, partly owing to his success as a medical practitioner and to the fact that he frequently prepared his own medicine, and also because he made them feel uncomfortable through his literary work. In Hahnemann, new and great ideas were coming to birth. His whole intellect was in a state of ferment, as if he was in a condition of complete internal revolution, as if dissatisfied with the old teaching which he had hitherto received and acquired. He was almost repelled by it, although he had not yet arrived at a clearly recognized, firmly established, and irrefutably sound basis for a new teaching elaborated in its all detail. He was as if distracted by mental labors which drove him restlessly from place to place. Such is human psychology. One reformer or prophet withdraws at such time from a human society and goes into a complete seclusion. He flees from into the wilderness in order to be alone to wrestle with his thoughts. Another is driven daily from place to place, ever changing surrounding by the inward unrest that prevents him from finding rest anywhere until great conception is achieved, the work of the mind accomplished, and the intellectual conception becomes crystallized into definite form. Then, with the return of assurance in the newly acquired positive points of view, peace and stability returns of their own accord. That is exactly what happened to Hahnemann. From the years 1790 to nearly 1805, his new system of treatment was slowly coming to birth. We have a first intimation of its arrival in the year 1790. In 1796, we see the first definite form in the fight against the mixing of drugs in use that time. In the following years, it is unfolded itself further and attained its first complete form in the Organon in the year 1810. With the inward satisfaction and peace, there appear also in its outward circumstances a period of great restfulness and stability. This can be irrefutably inferred from Hahnemann's writing of this period. His literary productiveness seems almost miraculous when considered in combination with outside worries of material gain, such as looking out of new places of residence, new possibility for making a livelihood, the hindrances of packing and removal, the difficulties of many long journeys, and the toll of settling down in a new house. Among these was the work of fundamental importance which deserve स्पेशल अटेंशन। इस अंक में इतना ही। अगले अंक में इस श्रृंखला को आगे बढ़ाएंगे। धन्यवाद।